you locked in or not?
I've been locked in since I was born.
Okay.
What are we starting with?
I'm going to start.
But what are we starting with when I come in? Should I walk in and make an entrance?
No. You just stay right there, and I will look at you when it's time for you to speak. Okay?
I'm not good with intros.
You don't have to do an intro. I will do the intro.
Hi, guys.
I'm going to go ahead
Where's
now.
the camera?
Camera's over there.
Oh, where?
In the ring
okay.
light. Okay, hang on. Just sit there quietly. Look at the camera. Are you not good? We're wasting time. Time is money. Hey guys, welcome back to our Non-Toxic Podcast. I'm Hannah and I'm here with my roommate, Austin.
Hey, guys.
He was confused about when his cue was, so hopefully that was adequate for him. We've got a lot of questions today, all of them submitted by you guys. I have to say I was a little bit blown away by the amount of curiosity there was about our relationship specifically. So Austin has not heard these questions besides 30 seconds ago. So we're going to have a really good time diving into all these. Austin, any first comments?
I pretty much haven't heard the questions because she was talking so fast. I think she wants me to be in the dark, so it should be a good time.
This is not new information for anyone who listens to the podcast.
It is not.
Some people think that it's sped up. It's not. This is how we actually talk. You can attest. You live with me.
It's not. Yeah, I have to give her a slow down button at home sometimes when we're in an argument just so I can catch up.
We don't argue.
Sorry, a debate. I don't argue at all. I always debate.
No,
she would claim I argue.
We're a perfect couple. We never disagree. Don't go off script.
There's a script?
No, you must not have checked your email. First, this is going to be one of those podcasts where the host makes a guest very uncomfortable and the guest is just tolerating it because it was a contractual obligation. This was written into our marriage contract. Austin didn't read it before he signed it, and unfortunately we have the same attorney, so he is bound to all of these content and media relations.
Just another day at the office.
Another day at the office. So, first and foremost, we're going to Vegas, baby. Are you pumped?
Super pumped. Love Vegas. Gonna go win a lot of money. Probably not, but the food will be great.
The food will be great. Austin turns 30 on Friday. I have a birthday hat for him, but he's refusing to wear the birthday hat. It's over there. You can see it if you're watching on YouTube. But he is no fun at all. So we're not having a hat today.
If I wore a hat, I couldn't show off this gorgeous hair.
That's true. So we've been keeping the secret, we being Austin's family and myself, since last August, that we decided that we're going to surprise him with a trip to Vegas for his birthday. And he just found out last night. It's been the most difficult secret to keep because I talk to you every second of every day, literally like on the phone 8 times a day. And then I see you in the evenings at our shared house. Mm-hmm. So
and she's generally not good with surprises on top of that.
I don't like surprises for me, but I'm good at keeping secrets.
She likes to tell me any surprise she has for me before it's time to give the surprise.
So do you, though.
No.
You've never...
Christmas.
No, you've never made it to the December 25th ever in your life.
Yes.
You get a gift, you bring it home.
We opened one gift before just because,
whose idea is it?
It's a shared deal.
No, it's you. You're the problem.
Okay.
Let's not point fingers.
We'll take 50-50.
Let's not point fingers. You're a problem.
You're a real problem.
Okay, we're being obnoxious. Anyways, he found out last night, and I've been having such a hard time because up until this point, he's been asking me about like plans for his birthday, and I remembered, of course, everything is a secret, keeping everything a secret. I got his birthday gift a week early. We got meat from Snake River Farms, which is this really expensive meat company. Can you explain what makes it different? Because I don't really know.
It's just high quality prime beef. They have different cuts of meat, but I don't think this is really the audience.
It's not that you're right. It's not
for that discussion.
You mean my 82% female demographic?
Yeah.
98%
This is a male
females.
podcast. We get in with the grades of meat and everything. Cuts of
men and their
meat.
meats.
Yeah, just different. Go meats.
I forgot to address my shirt. So I picked this outfit out specifically. You can tell this is Austin's face. It's actually a swimsuit, but I put overalls on over it because it's not summertime quite yet. So I'll show up in a bikini in like 2 months, but not right now. But this is going to be his face. Thank you to my cousin-in-law, Savannah, for getting it for me. I'm not wearing the bottoms, but I thought this would be a fun little costume for your 30th.
Yeah. I mean, I would have wore those sunglasses on this podcast and look like a total tool, but I wasn't aware she was going to wear that. So now it's just my face.
My people didn't contact your people.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a shame. New? Anyways, so I knew that I was keeping it a secret. I got his birthday gift a week early, and I forgot that I actually should be approaching him about plans for his birthday. Because on a normal year, I would tell you, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing to celebrate. And since I knew we were going to Vegas, I just wasn't thinking about giving a cover story for plans. So last week I was like, oh, by the way, I have plans for your birthday on Thursday. Don't make any other plans. Don't ask your mom. She already knows the secret. Don't ask me any questions. And then you've been grilling me about where we're going this whole time.
Which I was kind of hoping there was still a reservation tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Is Vegas not enough for you? Is that expensive meat not enough for you?
I mean, I just thought there was a restaurant we were going to go to tomorrow night.
We can go to
it's all right. I guess I'll cook.
Oh, no. Yeah, that'd be great, actually, if you could. I'm really not feeling up to it. But then he's been trying to make tea times. And my brother-in-law and my father-in-law were talking to him at lunch yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever. And he was like, oh, Austin saying, we should go golfing this weekend. It'd be great. And then both of them are like, oh, I'm out of town. Which for both of them to be out of town on your birthday weekend would be highly unusual. So I don't know why they both thought that was an appropriate thing to say. But
yeah, my family does holidays and birthdays.
Large.
It takes them pretty serious. So
Rockefeller.
The odds of them both not being in town on that weekend, which it wasn't super weird because my birthday's Friday and not on the weekend, but still a little weird.
Yeah.
And then they were kind of scrambling because I usually don't ask what their plans are. And then I did, and they had to come up with backstories. So
I had to come up with a backstory.
That was a good time.
Because my father-in-law just said, oh, yeah, I'm going to be gone too.
Well, I asked Jake, my brother, I said, where are you going to be this weekend? He goes, oh, I'm going to Northwest Arkansas. Brooke wants to go. Sister-in-law, I said, oh, okay. And then my dad just hopped in and said, oh, I'm going to be gone too. I was like, okay, where are you going?
And then he calls me and he's like, my dad's gonna be out of town. I don't think they mentioned that. And I was like, oh no, they told me they're gonna be at Down Street. Did you not hear that? You didn't remember that? And was trying to gaslight you. And luckily you were distracted. You were just like, whatever.
I thought of it almost like a week later. I said, where's he gonna be that he's gonna be there Friday night for the birthday dinner, but not leaving. Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he goes to Downstream, you just go at 6. I mean,
right. And I was texting my in-laws in a group chat and I said, you guys are going to Downstream. I told Austin, I was like, you must not have heard your mom. I gave him the whole cover story, ran it down. So we've been like trying so hard not to like have any of the 5 of us slip up. And then now you know, and I can breathe a little bit deeper. So
now I'm starting to plan Hannah's 50th surprise.
50th?
Yeah. It's going to be a 25-year surprise. It's going to be really big.
What makes you so emboldened to think that you'll be around for my 50th?
Well, I may be in a wheelchair, an electric wheelchair, but I'll be around.
You are so much older than me.
I'll make contingency plans for all of that.
Professor X style.
Yeah, like P.S. I love you. I'm just going to have a bunch of notes.
I haven't seen that movie.
Well,
I'm not really one for rom-coms.
It's actually not bad.
Okay.
It's not really a rom-com. It's
more... is it sad?
Yeah.
I should have gathered that with a wheelchair. Okay, well, we'll watch it eventually.
It has nothing to do with wheelchairs.
Then why'd you say that?
Oh, I was just saying because my knees hurt all the time. So.
We got to resync our Bluetooth. We're not really...
Yeah. P.S. I love you. The husband dies, and then he sends his wife little notes and takes her around. No, that's right at the beginning. It's the whole point of the movie. He's writing her a note, and every note he says, P.S. I love you.
I'm devastated. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to acknowledge a world where you could ever pass away. That's
just for everybody on here, any movie reference that she has ever mentioned pretty much came from me. When we started dating, she had seen about 3 total movies and read about 3,000 books.
Yeah.
And
sorry, I'm literate.
We're slowly catching up on the movies. So
yeah, we have.
Mostly Marvel.
I have a list of things that we can, maybe I'll just jump into that in a second, but ways that you improve my life, because it's going to be a sap fest in here. I'm going to sob. But you did actually introduce me to movies. I didn't used to watch them at all.
And naps.
Don't get ahead. It's on my notes list. Don't stray from the outline. This is very important to me.
See, this is why she shouldn't speed talk me through the notes 30 seconds before. Now I'm ruining the show.
You wanted to go through the notes. It wasn't me that suggested that. I do have the notes right here and also on my iPad because last time
I didn't get an iPad for everybody.
You could have brought your iPad if you wanted one. Yeah, we're both pretty bad about having screens at night. How many screens do you think we're both using at any given time?
I'm using minimum 2. At any given time.
Yeah, we have the big screen, a show that we're kind of watching.
I also like to have the noise on or the sound on both.
Oh my gosh.
Which drives somebody nuts. But I'm half paying attention to one of them, obviously. And it's always the TV.
And the other half of your attention is not in
And I think the algorithm on my reels is annoying. I think they pretty much just give those reels annoying and funny. So
annoying and funny, yeah. Just like my taste in men.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he has the big screen on. We'll be watching a TV show, which currently we're like actually paying attention to our TV show. And then I'll have my phone, which makes you mad. And you're like, get off your phone, watch TV. And I'll say, okay, fine. Then I put it away. And then 8.5 minutes later, I look over and you're on your phone. And I'm like, awesome, put your phone away. You just told me to get off my phone. And then you're like, hang on, I'm in the middle of a round on Balloon Tower Defense.
Archer row. Thank you.
Yeah.
But 2 reasons for that. one, I've either already seen the show and I know what's going to happen. So when she hasn't seen it before and she's on her phone, I'm like, hey, you need to pay attention. But she doesn't like to do that. It's okay.
We're going to skip ahead to a quiz about me, if you will oblige me with that.
Let me just get 100%.
Wait. I have two more things that I want to address first.
So we're not going to the quiz.
Okay, first of all, I want to talk about our run together.
Go ahead.
So we ran together 3 years ago for the first time, back when you lived in the apartments.
Like that, yeah.
So I have always been more enthusiastic about working out than Austin has, but let's keep in mind.
Okay, always?
Since we've been together.
Okay.
Like, I'm giving backstory. Let me get there.
I was going to say, you're putting me under the bus a little bit here.
Jeez. Okay, in Women's History Month, you're not even going to let me finish. This is crazy. So Austin was a college athlete. He played basketball, Division I. If I had a soundboard, which Austin has already critiqued the fact that I do not, I would hit the applause button. We would all cheer. But he played basketball his whole life. You played baseball for a short term.
Up until 8th grade.
Up until 8th grade. Played basketball. You were kind of a stud muffin in college and high school and all of that. Everyone around the area really cared a lot about what you did on the basketball court. I was not one of those people.
Minus you.
Minus me. But I did really care about you and your face. I liked that a lot. I was a big fan of that. So
she also loved my old haircut.
He had a horrible haircut in high school. He didn't have a good haircut until he was 25 years old. It was a crime.
22.
Okay, 22. But I don't know what was going on, and that no one told you, I think, speaks volumes about the people in your life. You shouldn't trust any of them. But you finally came out of it, and now you have gray hair. So, which you can see because you're not wearing the party hat.
Exactly. I wanted to show it off.
So, backstory of Mr. Austin John Reuter. He played basketball, and anyone who is like around the area or from Nixa probably knows him and his brother just because they were very athletic. His brother played baseball, got drafted by the Royals, also played basketball, set all kinds of records at Nixa, and I don't really know much about basketball enough to even know what the records are or represent. Do you want to mention them? Okay.
Nobody's going to care.
Okay. He's got some records for doing really cool things.
I half care. So.
He only half cares. And then he played at Missouri State for 4 years, and he went to Oral Roberts and played basketball for another year and got half of a master's degree, did not finish it because he was done playing basketball. And that is really it. Oh, you had one play that was on SportsCenter top 10.
Number one. Mm-hmm. Number one in the top 10. So that was at Oral Roberts. Yeah.
I'll share it because I'm proud.
Okay.
I like to brag. Any other notes about that?
That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. 3 surgeries from the playing days, so I'm feeling those.
About 90% scar tissue.
Yeah, I'm half cyborg at this point,
bionic.
So it's feeling...
Again, just how I like my men.
Yep.
I wish they would have replaced the metal arm or the left arm completely with something metal. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We just got the anchors, though. That's
exactly.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
less fun. Plastic,
whatever. Airport safe.
That's true. Yeah, I can get through metal detectors.
TSA loves you.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take your hoodies off at TSA because apparently the X-ray machine doesn't go through the hoodie, but you know,
can go through the metal.
It goes through everything
plastic.
else.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible.
Yes. So now you're caught up on Austin. He was an athlete his entire life. I met him after he finished up at ORU and moved back to Springfield, and that brings me to my pressing story, which is us going for a run. So when we first started dating, I had been working out. I love fitness, never anything athletic, but we would work out together at the beginning of dating because we were both still like trying to be impressive. So we'd go for runs. You always just completely smoked me. And it was so frustrating because I would work out every single day and you'd be like, haven't really been working out. Like it's been 6 months or so. And then we go for a run and you just do laps around me, put up numbers. It's so embarrassing.
It helps me in a foot taller. So.
Yeah, you are a foot taller than me, but I still get frustrated by it. But I swore off running for him. Probably
pretty much that day.
Yeah.
So we were running at Galloway and down the trail and towards the nature center, and she
fell behind
pretty quickly, pretty much right by Galloway Bar and Grill. So probably about a quarter mile down the road. We had already separated a lot, and I didn't want to just run at the same time, totally separate. It seemed kind of like a weird dynamic. So we just decided we would just each do our own thing. She also liked to run the opposite direction of me. So she liked to go towards the park. I like to go towards the nature center. So
we just found out quickly that we don't jive when it comes to working out. And we sometimes would go to the gym at the same times, but we'd never do, like, we're not one of those couples that will share a squat rack and like take the weight on or off. We will arrive at the same time and then leave at the same time. And that's really about it.
Yeah, I have not done legs since halfway through my last year at Oral Roberts.
It's been a while.
I don't really like to lift super heavy anymore. More of a lightweight for reps guy.
Retired.
Yeah, lifted
I'm
a
not-
lot of heavy weights back in the day. I'm
Yeah.
done with it.
If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I am not retired from that. I'm trying to get huge. I'm trying to be hulked up for the summer.
I'm just trying to get slim.
Yeah, we're doing the opposite. I'm going to be gigantic.
Yeah, I said anytime she gives me attitude, I keep dropping the weight I'm gonna get to by
No.
5 pounds.
Nobody-
so I think we're
no, I
down
don't
to
want
about
that.
$1.15. So
Nobody likes a bone but a dog. Remember that.
well, there's
A
lots
great-
of animals that like bones.
Okay. Well, I'm not an animal, but thank you for your insinuation. Don't. This is a PG podcast.
Is
Anywho, we ran last week, and I usually run between like 3 to 6 miles is like my average weekly run that I'll do a couple times a week. I didn't want to run with him. He convinced me to go, and I was like, okay, but don't leave me behind because that's irritating. So you have to keep like with my pace. I'll set the pace. You can go with me. He agreed. Only halfway listened to that because he still ran like 10 feet ahead of me the entire time. So I'm like, if you're going to slow down, why wouldn't you just run next to me?
It's almost physically impossible for me to run behind you at that pace.
The view is much better.
I was already basically just putting my feet up and down right by each other.
I'm just saying if you put the governor on yourself that much, why wouldn't you just go all the way and stay next to me so it's actually like we're running together?
For those of you who know the term, I was basically PE shuffling
PE shuffling.
most
yeah.
of the run.
And
so,
I'm sprinting. I'm like all out fighting for my life trying to keep up with him. But long story short, I ran a sub 30-minute 5K for the first time since I've been running. And that's not like overly impressive. I'm pretty sure.
beat your best time by like a minute.
Yeah,
per
beat my
mile.
best time by like a minute per mile. I cut my pace down. Usually I'm running at a pace of like 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes. Like I'm not going fast at all. This time I look at my watch like halfway through the first mile and we're at a 9:40 pace. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am not going to make it through this. I'm going to tough it out as long as I can, but I'm really not optimistic about how this is going to go. But we made it. And
There's also a giant hill to end it.
Oh, yeah.
That she initially didn't want to run, but I'm like,
yeah, but I
we
powered
pretty much
through.
have to run it.
I had a good song on. I just toughed it out. But my new PR time was 29 minutes. And then Austin bragged about it for 4 days straight about how he had helped me to improve and made me so much better. So then 2 days ago, I went to the track with a new goal to run a new PR. And I ran the 5K in 27 minutes. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that you were not responsible for me.
So next
succeeding.
week, she is going to run with me again, and I'm going to actually run this time, and then she's going to break it again. A new PR right after a new PR. We love to see it.
I think the moral of the story is that I just don't push myself hard enough. If it was that easy, I'm just not working hard enough at all.
Yeah, maybe you're PE shuffling. Who knows?
Maybe I was. I don't really know. Okay. Why we had an argument today? It was a cage match almost.
I just stopped home real quick, and after I had a meeting at work, and she was mad because she was about to film some video, and she said, "You just have an act for coming in right when I'm about to do something."
You
and
do.
I'm like, "Well, it is my house, so
Let
I just come
me-
home
You're completely
randomly."
butchering the story. So
Is that John Reuter over there?
I was working, and one of my pet peeves is whenever I'm so in the zone, focused, and I get interrupted, and it's always by you. Because
Well,
no one
who
else.
else would it be by?
Exactly. Exactly. I was so in the zone, and I had in my head, because I have a video due Friday, but Friday we're going to be gone. So I have to film this video. And I had it in my brain, in my melon. It was planned out. I'm going to film Wednesday. I'll do all my work. I'll finish it by 11. I'll get my makeup done, make sure I look okay, film this video. That way I can edit it and send it in with all my little questions. It's for the SBJ 40 under 40. We have to do a little video, and go ahead. Okay.
They're just going to drop that in there.
I am.
Just subtly. Just nice
It's
and
the
subtly.
truth. It's the truth. So I have everything set up. I even have like my notes of what, like the people that I want to thank. I have the tripod. I have the light. Everything is set up. And I hear the garage door open. And I don't know why this set me off like it did, but it was seriously like a fuse just lit. And I was like, seriously? You're going to come home right now? The whole morning was fine, but I was like expediting my work, trying to get things done so I could film this, so that I could leave and come to this. And I was like, I only have a certain amount of time. I need to get it done. If not, I'm going to have to try and fit it in tomorrow. I already have a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow. And you were just thwarting my carefully laid plans, and it just really rubbed me the wrong way. So when you came in, I was like, what are you doing here? And of course you're like, I'm just coming home. I'm between meetings. What do you want me to do? You know, typically you.
I think something else, just for the background of the story. I am a very loose plan kind of guy. I put very few things in my calendar, even for work. I just put very specific meetings that I can't miss. Everything else, I'm kind of like, well, we'll figure it out. We'll go with the flow. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
Hannah, on the other side, which I think everyone knows, is very organized, has a daily to-do list.
Detailed notes.
I mean, that's like my personal hell, but what I do
So
is her
first-
personal hell. So
Yeah, he's just disorganized. He's like a tumbleweed just drifting through the Great Plains, and
Pretty
I can't
much, yeah.
stand for that in my own life.
I'm a tumbleweed that just has a couple stops planned.
Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Yep.
So that's why we got into an argument. And then
Yes.
we really passive aggressively put the laundry away because we figured if we were both home at the same time and the laundry was done, we should put it away. So we actually did make
Which
quick
that
work
was
of it.
our first marital argument,
Was laundry?
was the closet.
So listen to this. I don't think you're going to get any sympathy because of my 98% female
Probably
audience.
not. Probably not.
But this is what happened. So we had bought this house and it was supposed to be done around July, the same year we're getting married. We're getting married in October. And everything got delayed. It was after COVID, so everything was like super behind. And fast forward to our wedding month, the house is like just now getting completed. We had a bunch of snafus, but I'm not going to get into all that because I have not taken my blood pressure medication today. So we're not going to go there. But the week of our wedding, we finally closed on the house. I can start moving everything in. We had both moved back in with our parents because since the leases on our apartments ended in like August-ish, based on the completion date that we were given for our house, we were moving from like separate places. We'd already had to move, of course, from the apartments back into our respective parents' homes. Our stuff was in boxes. We're planning the wedding. It was just like a high stress situation. And the day that we're supposed to move in, Austin texted me and he's like, hey, I can't make it over today. I'm super sick. And this entire week he had been like pulling on my leg and saying, oh, by the way, we had a tea time on Friday. Is that going to be cool? So he's just been joking around, like, you know, at the ideal time for jokes to be made. So he texted me and he's like, I can't make it. Like, I'm super sick. I woke up. I think I have strep. I was like, Austin, shut up. What are you even talking about? Like, meet me at the house, bring a coffee. And he said, no, I'm serious. I'm actually sick. So I called him and he's got no voice.
I also had an actual work meeting that morning that I also had to cancel because I was actually very sick for the whole week, including on our wedding day. I was finally coming out of it, but
Yeah, it turns out he actually was sick. So it was, and I really don't like to have a lot of people in the way. So I had planned for it to just be us moving. And since he backed out, it was just going to be me and there was just too much stuff. So I recruited my sweet elderly grandparents to come and at least like drive their minivan with loads of things. So we got it done. But the week of that move, he's not really involved. I bring everything over. I unpack everything. Clothes get dropped off. And I really wanted to have as much done as we could before we left for our honeymoon because we we're going to go to our wedding on a Friday and then go to our honeymoon on a Sunday and then not come back until like the following Saturday. So if we didn't have everything unpacked by that Friday, it was just going to be compounded by the trip laundry and the wedding gifts and everything else. So I really wanted to have it done. So I unpack everything. I do all the laundry, get everything set up, and I put all of the clothes for either of us in the closet on hangers, and I color coordinated everything because that's what makes the most sense is to have things color coordinated. So when you're thinking, where's my red shirt? You just think to yourself, oh, it must be with the other red shirts. So Austin comes in after his leisurely week of laying in bed and being cared for by his mother. He says, why'd you do it like this? I was like, well, like what? And he said, why'd you color coordinate? I don't like it like that. And I said, Austin, this is how it makes the most sense.
This is only partially true.
And he said, I don't like it like this. I like it spread out by the long sleeves and the short sleeves because that's how I find stuff. And then he complained until I redid it. And he tried to make it seem like it was my fault. He was trying to gaslight me into thinking that I had done something inconsiderate for him by pushing my organized agenda onto him.
So this is partially true.
Okay.
The first part of that is I asked her before she put any laundry up. I said, hey, I would like it by groups of clothing, not color. Because I don't pick, as most guys would say, we don't pick stuff out by which color. I'm like, I want a hoodie. I go to the hoodie section and I grab the hoodie I want. And then maybe I grab some black joggers. It goes with any hoodie. So that's what I had asked for initially. And then I walk in and it wasn't. And of course, we just got back from our honeymoon. So I'm like,
is this the time?
I said, well, I wanted it by like category, not color. And of course, then I'm not appreciative and all that. So then I said, you know what? It's fine. So now it's color coordinated.
No. Then I redid all of it because you made me feel bad.
No, it was still color coordinated. You said I forget what you did. You did like a mix. You did something.
Because I split up into sections. Keep in mind, we don't our closet is not like a Dillard's, so it's one wall that your clothes go on. It's not like
Seems like a Dillard sometimes.
it's not like you couldn't have found the items if I had kept them color coded. You just have to see which sleeves are short and which ones were long, and then do the deductive reasoning in your head to figure out if it's a tank top, a shirt, or a hoodie.
Well, it's not a giant deal. It was just
was.
a deal. You make well.
Anyways, so that was like our first fight, and
Started off strong,
yeah, it's been uphill since then, I think.
mostly.
Yeah. So now that we're 25 minutes in, I'm going to go ahead and get into the warm-up quiz. So how tall am I?
Harry Potter. 5'3".
Thank you. When is my birthday?
November 17th.
Thank you. What year?
Probably 98.
Yeah. What's my zodiac sign?
Zodiac signs are a joke. I'm just gonna say Pisces. No
You're a
offense to the
Pisces.
audience.
You're a Pisces.
That shows you how much I know.
I'm a Scorpio.
Scorpio. Final answer.
When's our anniversary?
October 30th.
Good. What's my favorite candy?
Well, that depends. You like most things nerds. You like Reese's, any Reese's, but especially the holiday
Yeah.
versions, which we both love.
True.
And most sour candies as well.
Yes. Name 3 of my non-Marvel favorite movies.
You haven't watched 3.
Any 3.
That's
Go ahead. Take longer.
tough. I don't know. Those are most. Fever Pitch. Because you talk about that all the time. I don't know the other 2.
There's 10. There's 10 non-Marvel favorites. I've read you the list many times.
I know, but I just can't. You've just watched Marvel. It's just burning in my head right now.
That's
that
true.
Not Falcon and the Winter. Captain America Winter Soldier is just, and that and Civil War.
Yeah.
That's all I can even think about right now.
That's all I can think about ever.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Okay. I asked for assumptions, then questions. I only got 3 assumptions because it's like a weird thing to ask for, but they're really funny. So first assumption, you're shy in person.
Yes and no. Depends.
Compared to me,
Well,
you're just not,
yeah.
you're not shy. You're just less talkative, I guess, than me.
I have very strong opinions, which most people don't like, so I kind of keep
Yeah.
off to myself most
You're a little
times.
prickly, a little abrasive, and sometimes you need a disclaimer before
I ain't frigid.
Prickly and abrasive?
It's a movie quote
I don't know. I haven't seen that
from
movie.
Major Payne. You've seen it. It's a good movie.
I didn't commit it to memory. IMDb. Okay, next. You're anti-social media. Yes or no?
Me personally,
Yes or
I just don't find it worth posting. I'm not anti other people having social media. It's a 2-part question. Me personally, I don't post. I don't care if other people post.
Yeah, the last 3 posts that were on Austin's page, the last 3 reels I posted because I like them.
And the one before that, she said I had to post because it was our wedding day photo.
Because he had been posting like more and more sparsely throughout our relationship because he's like, I don't need to post anymore. I already have a girlfriend. Like, what's the point? Because apparently that's the only goal of social media is to, bag a wife. But then he never posted like a conclusion to everything. So he had posted from our engagement, posted throughout like us dating, and then never posted a wedding photo. I'm like, people are going to be confused.
I'm either married or I'm gone. It's one of the 2. So it's the same message.
Jury's still out. It's open-ended.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure. Okay. Next one. You act like Uncle Ned from 17 Again.
I don't even know what that is.
You haven't seen 17 Again? Well, Uncle Ned is basically like this. He's really wealthy and like successful, but he's really crotchety and funny. We'll have to see it. I forget what the actor's like been in otherwise, but we'll watch it. I think that's true. It's funny. I haven't seen it recently, so it could be off base, but I think it's funny.
I'm a very nice guy.
Yeah, he's super nice. Okay, now we're gonna get into questions.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm gonna skip over that because I want to end on something funny. So we're gonna start with the cheesy stuff. So.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. Buckle
I
up.
go to Walmart for my cheese.
No, you don't go. You go to Price Cutter. You're stuck up.
Stuck up. Hey, shop local. Shop local.
Be vocal. Shop local, baby. Okay. Ways that you have improved my life. Are you ready for this? Do not let it go to your head.
I thought I was going to list them up, but go ahead.
Okay. So you got me back into church because I wasn't really in a good routine of going to church when we met. I still felt like I had a good faith relationship, but I had grown out of my childhood church and wasn't going back to Nixa because I lived on the north side of Springfield, and I just wasn't going back for Sunday church and hadn't really found one that I liked. But I didn't realize how much of my life or my, I don't know, I guess my faith relationship had been suffering because I wasn't going to one regularly. And that's one of the first things that we started doing was going to church together at Life Church. And now we've been going for almost 5 years. So that's definitely had a huge positive impact on me. And we're involved in the church, and it's just a big part of our lives. So thank you for that. And that wasn't, I don't think, something you were trying to do. It's just that it was a regular habit and something that was a priority for you, which then made it a priority for me because I was obsessed with you. Next, you inspired me to pay off all of my debt faster so I wouldn't take it into our marriage. I had a car loan when we first met because I had paid for my own college. So I had a little bit of debt from that. And then I had my car. And I had a little bit of savings, but nothing crazy because I was like, funding my own existence. And when we met and started to get serious, you were really open with your intentions. And we had the little like flirtatious stage at the beginning. And then you're like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to play games. If you're not in this for the like right reasons in the long haul, let's not date. And I was like, oh shoot, he's for real. He's for realsies. So when you said that, and of course you made it clear that you weren't like wanting to pop the question the next day. You just said, like, if this is not where it's going, then, like, I don't want to waste my time, which I really respected. But then I was like, I got to get my act together. Like, if we're going to get married, I don't want to bring all of my baggage, like, into the marriage. And in that case, it was debt. So I finished out my lease, moved back in with my parents, and then, like, worked super hard to pay off my car and then pay off all of my student debt so we wouldn't have that anymore. That was great. So thanks for the motivation on that one. I think I would have paid it off regardless. I know that I would have, but you just made me really want to get it done more expeditiously. You also taught me to take naps. You can comment on that if you want to.
Yeah, when we first started dating, she would say taking a nap was a waste of her time, and she would get angry if I even mentioned taking a nap.
You could take naps. I just didn't want to.
Yeah, but I mean, we're both there together, so
yeah, true.
It's kind of weird. And then now she's always telling me she's going to take a nap. Let's go take a nap. And I'm like, on weekends,
always.
on weekends,
Yeah,
mostly on Sundays,
yeah,
mostly
Sunday
on Sundays. And I'm like, okay. And then I'll just be laying there. I'm not really tired. I'll just be watching them say, you going to sleep? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Naps are kind of like ice cream. It's only fun if we're both going to do the thing. Like if I'm going to get ice cream and you're not.
I don't think that's the case.
Well, this is my podcast, so.
I'll take a nap whenever. I have no problem taking a nap.
Way more. I don't want to take a nap if it's just me. Like if you're just going to sit there and watch TV, it's not fun.
Oh, I
want
will 100%
in REM
take a nap.
sleep next to me. Okay.
Yeah. Is it really more fun together if we both get ice cream?
Yes.
Or you just feel bad if you're eating ice cream and I'm not?
Yes.
That's what. Yeah. That's what. See, now me on the other hand, I will definitely eat an ice cream if I want an ice cream.
I mean, and then eat it. I'll just have less fun.
if she does,
twist my arm.
If I get an ice cream and she says she doesn't want one, there will be ice cream eaten by both of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that we're on the same page with that.
That's just how it has to be.
Okay. You also introduced me to the MCU.
Yes.
Little known fact.
Yep. A blessing and a curse at the same time.
Do you regret that decision?
Not at first, because there's a lot of, that was back when Marvel was good.
Yeah.
So there was some stuff we could actually, I don't even know if that's controversial at this point,
No,
but
it's not.
we could go watch stuff together. It was great. There was a lot of stuff for her to catch up on, and it was still in the phase of getting her into movies. So
yeah.
And those movies are easy to watch because there's a lot of action. There's good characters. It's good to get into. Yeah. It started getting a little bit too much when we've watched Falcon or Captain America Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War probably 150 times each. But,
We've watched the other ones too many times.
It's a struggle. Every time I mention a movie, it's like, well, I mean, we could just watch. I'm like, no, we can't.
Sometimes I sneak it in. If he's like, we don't really have time to watch a show with dinner, I'm like, well, I'll just put this on the background.
Yeah, that's like one of our debates is I tell her she didn't think she liked those movies and now she loves them. There's a lot of other new movies she hadn't seen that she would also love.
I'm not ready for that
But she has to just spread those wings.
I don't want to.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. No, you introduced me because Avengers Endgame was coming out when we first started dating, and you're like, we have to go see it in theaters. And I was like, what's the big deal? And I had been really into like other superhero movies in the past. I was big into X-Men when it came out, but I just wasn't into the Avengers movies for some reason. Hadn't seen them. And you were like, well, let's just watch Infinity War, which is like the part 1 of the part 2. So we watched that one. It was amazing. Went to go see it in theaters. Amazing, life-changing, but so powerful.
You didn't even really get that big into it after
I
those.
liked it a lot.
You
But I
liked
wasn't
it,
like
but
obsessed yet.
you weren't like, oh yeah, that's like my
But I got into
series.
Spider-Man first, and then I got
Yeah.
into everything else. So, anyways,
And then
beside the point.
once she watched the Captain Americas, then she got
Then I was
yeah
down bad.
yeah. She's never left.
I've never let. I'm still there mentally in 2014. Anyways, you encouraged me to go on my own when we had the wedding being planned and the house under contract, all of that. Most of you guys know I had a whole. Oh, you've listened before. You guys know the story, but I quit my job, started a social media business. We didn't really ever want to be self-employed, but you were the one who was like, just do it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And being somebody that was like going to be financially tied to me for the rest of my life, I feel like that was a big push, because if you would have said, hey, not the best time, I wouldn't have done it. So appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both appreciate it now because it's worked out well for us.
Hey, for everybody out there, right now is the best time because you have the least amount of responsibilities you're ever going to have.
Yeah.
So take a risk right now. If it doesn't pay off, you still have a lot of time to recover.
Yeah, and it worked out well because I had already paid off my debt and I had a college degree that was pretty marketable. So if it failed and like everything crashed and burned, then I could have just gone back to a different job. So we still had a safety net, but if you wouldn't have encouraged me, I still probably wouldn't have done it.
Oh yeah, no, it's yeah, your own business and doing your own thing where you're responsible for whatever happens. It's a whole different deal, and not everybody wants it, but there's a lot of opportunity in that, but also a lot of discipline and work.
Yeah. And I didn't ever want that for my life. I wanted to kind of work for somebody else and have them take the risk and then cut me a check. So obviously now I can't envision my life any other way, but if it wouldn't have been for you, then I wouldn't have had the belief in myself or the confidence. And I think I've always had the drive to do it, but I just never would have thought that I had the capability to pull it off.
No, you never applied the drive or thought you had an opportunity to apply it, I think is what it was.
I mean, I got a bachelor's degree when I was 19, so it's not like I've been slacking.
Well, but you know what I mean. It's like the school is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if it's
I
what I'm
agree.
supposed to do, then it's easier to apply something. If it's something I have to take a risk and it's not something that's in the script per se, it makes it a little more difficult to get your mind to say, well, I can just apply the drive to that because it's not what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, and I think I wanted safety and security more than I wanted necessarily like financial success. So it wasn't like the gamble wasn't worth it for me because I'm like, I have a good salary and I have security here.
Oh, yeah.
And like a clear cut path. And that was more enticing to me than being like, well, I could make way more money, but you have to take this risk and it's not guaranteed. So that you were the catalyst in helping me change my mind and be like, oh, it is actually worth it. So
yeah. And really at this point, it's not even, of course the money's great, but it's just being able to do different stuff like this when you want and have different opportunities and meeting different people.
And just being in control of your own success. Like if I want to make more money and work harder, then you can. And if you want to, pump the brakes and take more time and, it's all kind of your prerogative, which is great.
There are endless things to make money on. I mean, you would have thought social media posting would make money.
Come on, what a freaking joke. That's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what everybody said at first.
They did,
a lot of people.
You were one of the few that believed in me whenever it wasn't really a huge thing around here, especially like me quitting a job in finance, leaving a job doing something that's pretty concrete, then going to do social media. For you to support me and say you think that there is a future in that and that you thought I could pull it off was probably bigger than either of us realized at the time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then it's had, big positive impacts on us. So thanks. Also, you helped me learn to stand up for myself and not really care if people don't like that or don't like me. So we can unpack that a lot.
I may have taught her too well.
Yeah. Now we get double birds to everybody who doesn't like it. No, I'm still very nice. But you definitely helped me understand that if people who are closest to me like me and I like myself and I do my best and what I think is right, then that's all you can really control. And if people don't like you, then that's not my business. So that's something you've always been really good at and I struggled with a lot.
Yeah, I grew up in a very Eagles don't flock kind of family. So it was always kind of walk your own path, and it's good and bad. Everything's got good and bad. But when we first started dating and for a long time, anytime she had anything to say to anybody, it would be a 50-page text, with really about 2 lines that was what she wanted to say, but she wanted to not offend anybody for the next 49 pages. And I'm like, just say what you want to say. I mean, if they're your friend, they're not going to get offended by it. I mean, that's, which I know from men to women is different, but it's, and no matter what you do, somebody's not going to like you. So, that's going to be.
It's been huge for me, like personally and professionally. You've helped me learn so much about just being comfortable with who I am and my abilities and knowing that if I'm going to, take something on, give everything you have. And if someone doesn't want to sign with you or they don't click with you for whatever reason, or they don't like your product, then if you gave it your best effort and you feel like you did, enough to be proud of, then that's really all that matters. And there's just endless applications to that one, but you really have helped me in that way. And you helped me grow my confidence in every way. I feel like when we met, I sometimes think that I have the exact same personality as I did, but then I also think that I'm a completely different person. So I think I've always had the same like sense of humor, and
You've always been more bubbly and outgoing, but now you don't rely on, like we just talked about, people
validation.
having to like you the whole time or think that you're good at what you do. You're good at what you do.
Like, I don't have to be told.
You have a good life. It's just, there's a lot of stuff to that. But
yeah, you definitely have just helped me love myself more, and that's huge. And I also think that if you hadn't been so unconditionally supportive and loving of me, even from the very beginning, then I wouldn't have gotten to this point. Like, there are just so many things. I could write a freaking essay. I could write a dissertation on everything you've done for me and my self-confidence. And as much as I hate to say like, oh, you like loved me into being a better person, then I think you really did, because it sounds so like, ugh, you don't want to be like a damsel in distress and need to get saved. But I really think that not only the romantic love, but like the friendship and the support and everything that you showed me, and like all the long talks, because we've had countless hours of like just sitting on the couch in your apartment, in my apartment, in our house. Like, we just talk all the time, and everything that you've like poured into me has helped me overcome so much. And a lot of that was just like me against me. So you've helped me grow in just ways I can't even put into words.
yeah, I mean, I think we all need that. We get it from different places, whether it be parents, spouses, friends, whatever. It's just, we all have insecurities. We all have things that we'd like to work on, or things that, we don't think we're good enough at. But there's got to be somebody there that gives you a little nudge and be like, no, you're good enough, or this or that. And then, to your credit, at some point you have to actually pick that up and run with it and believe it. Because I could say all the things I want to you forever. If you don't believe it, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So, that's with anybody, but you specifically in this case. It took a while because, like you said, you didn't want to start your own business. You didn't think it was really a viable deal. And you're always like, well, I don't know if I can do this or I don't do that. I'm like, well, I was like, you know what you're worth, put it there and go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you did. And now you are very confident. You know what it's worth, and you just keep going. And now that you know what it's worth, you don't get offended when people say no, because it's just that, either they don't have the budget for it, which that's the case, obviously, especially right now, or, it's just not a good fit, whatever, but it's not because you're not good enough at the job.
Yeah.
And you're a very heavy validation person. You want to know that you are good enough. So over the past couple of years, if you've run something for 2 years and it grows over 2 years, you know that you're good enough. Mm-hmm. It's like, it just works out sometimes and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. And that's a lot. It's very freeing when you finally learn it, but I don't know, it's difficult. And I hate to say that you inspired all these things, because it sounds so trivial to say like, oh, a man was the reason that I did all this stuff. But it's not that. It's like just the connection, the relationship we have. It's half of you loving me like before I got my shit together, like, for lack of a better description. Like, before, like, you loved me through like a pretty severe eating disorder whenever I like was not taking care of myself at all, and I was super, super thin. And honestly, I think that was probably also because of you too, but in a twisted way.
Now I'm getting blamed for it on the podcast.
No. Let me explain. Because I for so long have like just thought you were the cat's meow, and I really wanted to be to be good enough for you. So I pushed myself so hard, like in so many ways. I was just trying to improve myself to be good enough for you, and then through that and through you loving me regardless, then I was like, I became what I thought was enough. And our relationship got better because of that. So there's a lot of factors that like contributed to where we are. But at the beginning, I think that I was trying so hard to be better that I ended up sabotaging myself. And I don't know if you have anything to say about that stage of life, but it wasn't great.
You just, in general, have a little bit of an obsessive personality. So anything you get into, you're into, obviously. Everybody knows it's Marvel. But
so when I got into not eating,
yeah. So when it was not eating, it was like, I mean, it wasn't that you weren't eating a lot, but you're also exercising like double the amount that you probably needed to, which probably was really more the culprit than you're eating. Cause you're never like a huge eater, really. Like you eat good, but you're not like, eating a bunch, but you're exercising regular, now instead of
like a healthy way.
excessively.
Yeah.
Like then
And
it
I
was
also-
like, it was like 2 hours of working out 7 days a week.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
not
like
good.
way too much.
And it was a mental like cage that I was in, because if I didn't work out, I would have a freak out.
But it just went back to like, I'm taking a nap, I'm wasting a day.
Yeah, I would get
it's
super
just
anxious.
like, if you take an hour nap or 2 hour nap, you still have the whole rest of the day. And maybe you just don't do much that day. That's okay. You don't have to do something every day. There's rest
True.
days, stuff to do. I've taught her that too.
Yeah, you tell me everything I know.
I've always loved rest days.
Let me fast track this, because I feel like we're getting we're losing time here.
Everybody has
Okay.
questions.
I know. So basically, you help me grow my confidence, and you help me not associate my worth with my productivity, my status, my income, all of that. Which, ironically, you made all of those things go up in a different way. Like, you've made me healthier, or not you have made me, but like through the course of our relationship, you and other factors have made me. I'm at my healthiest. I'm at my happiest. I'm at my most productive, because I actually take time to rest and I concentrate my efforts better. I have the best income, and I feel like I've accomplished the most. But through our dynamic and everything else, I put the least amount of weight in all of that.
Well, again, I think it just goes back to confidence.
Yeah.
Like me growing up through sports, when I got out of this area, I played for a team out of Kansas City, and then we played national teams. But I was always one of the smallest guys on the team. You know?
He's 6'3" for reference.
Yeah, I'm 6'3". I'm like, then I was 6'3", like 195 pounds. So I'm a big person, but in the basketball world, I'm small. So
Pequeño.
I was kind of always a grinder, do the dirty work, get stuff done. Still very skilled, but when you're at that much of a disadvantage athletically, you have to do different things. So I built my confidence through sports for 15, 20 years, however long I played. And so I had that built in through me for that amount of time. So when we started dating, you were never really an athlete, ran a little track, did a little weightlifting, national records. But it wasn't, even in those things, it's not like you were super confident in it, because it was past, and you're just in general, or were in general. Now it's different, but were in general like, well, I'm really not that good. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm really good if I focus, but it's just like, that's one thing. And now it's like, well, yeah, I'm good at a lot of things that even if I half try, I'm really good at it. Like drawing, you're really good at drawing.
You think so?
Well, it's like I said, I think you're good, but I draw stick figures. So whatever, you take it for what it's worth.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like it's so backwards, because
Working hard to get that dinner tomorrow night.
you really want me to make a reservation somewhere. Olive Garden it is, baby.
Hopefully Branson somewhere.
Okay, yeah, hint harder. So I think, I don't want to make it sound like you just did all these things for me and I didn't like myself before, but that is the reality. Like,
Well, at the end of the day,
you did.
I was in a situation, again, I'm like 4 years older than you, so that also is a factor.
Cradle robber.
Yeah, but there's stuff that I had already lived through, like college basketball. There were some bad experiences, so I had lived through that and gone through it. And
you were very self-assured. Like, you knew who you were.
Yeah, it's like I said, my family growing up, it's always eagles don't flock. You're your own person. You do your own thing, walk your own path. And as you're growing up, that's very reassuring, because it's like, even if you're not doing something right, and they would get me if I wasn't doing something right. So it's not like just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But you know that when I do something, I'm committed to it. And if it's wrong, it's wrong, and you own up to it and you move on. But I think that was one thing. It's like, you weren't confident enough to just make decisions and it not go right.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to make the decision and it works.
Yeah.
But anyone who's been successful knows that you got to do some things
pivot.
where you fail first, and then
but you move on, and
you fail, but it's okay to fail, because the failure leads to bigger successes. If you never fail, you're never really going to succeed, because you're obviously not taking enough chances.
Yeah.
Which now you do different things. You've taken bigger clients. You started with smaller clients, and now it's like, okay, well, I'm confident in this and I can do anything. And the limit. If I can't handle it, I can't handle it. So I think the biggest thing for everybody is just gaining the confidence. Once you get the confidence, the rest is as easy as it can be, before doing the work.
Put the work in. Yeah, exactly. But so thanks for all that.
I do what I can. Here's the 30. Cheers.
I appreciate you for making my life better, making me as a person better.
That's only in like 5 years. Imagine.
Jeez, wow. Real investment piece here. Is that what you thought when you started dating me? You're like, there's potential.
Yeah. I see this.
He's
I
like,
see
I
it.
could work. And everyone's like, really? And you're like, I could work with this.
I
Trust
can
me.
do it. I can do it.
Okay. Now we're gonna get to the questions. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Do you believe in soulmates? On the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3.
No.
I don't believe in soulmates because I think it's too crazy to just assume that out of all the like 8 billion people in the world, there's only supposed to be one person that you click with, and just out of everyone, you're supposed to find someone most likely within your small proximity of the world that is your divine soulmate. That's just not realistic logically. Not to be Mr. Spock over here, but at the same time, I think that puts so much pressure on a relationship, because if we believe in soulmates and then we start dating and I'm like, yeah, you're my person, like my twin flame, my soulmate, and then we start fighting, then you're like, well, maybe you're not my soulmate because why are we fighting? But normal couples and people argue. So I think it just puts this undue pressure on a relationship to think like we're soulmates. I think it's almost more romantic and more notable when you meet somebody and you're not perfectly meshed, like you're not puzzle pieces that fit together. You just accept each other and you make a choice to love each other and like work through things. I feel like that's better.
Yeah. I mean, I think everything happens for a reason, and you're brought in to certain people, but after that point, it's almost like, it could go right or wrong after there. Or maybe it just doesn't work how you thought it was going to work. I mean, we all date people and think they're our soulmates before we actually get married or anything. And
you dated people before me?
Yeah, nope.
No, but
it's just like everything, it ends up once you break up with that person or whatever, you look back and you're like, generally they find somebody and they're happier with, and you find somebody you're happier with, and you're like, yeah, that wasn't meant to be. It was, it was a good time, still friends.
You learn things.
Yeah, it's all good. But
no, I agree. And I think that both of us probably could have married other people and had like varying levels of happiness. Like it's not like you could have found somebody that's completely different than me and had a good life, and the same with me, but it's just who you meet and you choose to keep putting the effort in with, because the connection at the beginning is kind of out of your control, but what you do with it is what I think makes a good relationship. So
yeah,
glad we're on the same page. Who made the first move?
It was me.
Yeah.
Slid on the Insta DMs.
You did. Yeah. I was one of about 58 girls who got the same DM, and I'm the one who stuck. 58. It was like it was like a Hunger Games up in there. And I'm Katniss Everdeen, baby. Who said I love you first?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
And then you said it right after.
Mm-hmm.
When did you know I was the one?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a specific time, but it was really after the first time or two we hung out. We just had a really good time, and I was like, well, yeah, let's see where this goes. I mean, it's not, I don't know. I'm not really, it kind of goes back to the soulmate thing for me. I don't have like one moment where I'm like, oh, I'm going to marry you and it's going to be great. I'm like,
we'll see if she survives the week. And then I just kept surviving week after week.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, after the first couple times you hung out, you're like, yeah, I mean, I want to date this girl. And then you start dating. And after a while, because I told her when we first started dating, I'm like, look, it's going to be at least a year and a half before we get engaged. Like best case scenario, if that were to happen. And when I say that, I don't mean like right when I met her. Yeah. But when we were actually dating, I'm like, it's going to be like a year and a half minimum. So don't be expecting anything. So, and I kind of just internally already had that, because I think you need time to actually get to know somebody.
Yeah.
So, saying like I knew on the third date, it's like I didn't even really know she was on the third date.
Yeah, be real.
Yeah, I was like,
you knew exactly who I was on the third date because we went to Zio's, and that was the second date.
Oh yeah. And what were you drawing on the table?
Something phallic and inappropriate.
Yeah. But no, I mean that's I don't really believe in the moment. It was just a string of events and really just time where it was like, yeah, we meshed really well. We complement each other in a lot of different areas that we're not good at. Like I said, I don't schedule anything. She schedules everything.
Yeah.
So now we mix a little bit. She's cooking now a little bit. She cooks a little bit now.
Hey, survive in advance, baby.
Yep.
Okay.
Little arms.
Okay. These are all the listener questions, so that's why they're I tried to order them, but what was your first impression of me?
Very sexy.
Ew.
Small.
Oh my God.
Very small.
I'm blushing.
Yeah. And the first night, I think I've already told this when I was on the first time.
Maybe, I don't know.
But I was coming back from Kansas City. I worked at a bank then, and we had some training. And we got back super late because there was a blizzard, and supposed to hang out with her And I was like, I don't know if I really want to go. I had to drop some guys off that drove with me up there, and I was like, okay, I'll go. I didn't get over there till like 9:30, and we were gonna watch a scary movie because I love scary movies.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
hates scary movies.
Yeah, but I loved him.
We've still watched only like one or two in our entire dating
I really
lives.
dug my heels in.
And we get there, and she's like, well, actually, let's watch Ted Bundy. I'm like, okay. So I had also brought my own Brahms and didn't offer to bring her any
Yeah, very romantic.
power play up front.
Yep.
So that was first impressions. So it's kind of like I brought my own food, and she said, no, we're actually going to watch what I want to watch. So it's a pretty good start. It's a pretty good start.
Yeah, really romantic.
And then
we tried to go to Steak and Shake.
Yeah, we tried to go to Steak and
It was
Shake, and of
closed.
course this was it was before COVID.
Yeah,
So
before
yeah,
COVID.
but it was closed because it was on the north side.
Yeah, so really we had a not great first date, but it's all been uphill from there. So
But you know, you got to set the bar low.
Yeah.
You know, you don't take a first date to Roost Chris Steakhouse.
Nope.
How are you going to go up from there? You know,
True.
take them to McDonald's
yeah.
or Steak and Shake, and it's like pretty much everything's up
not
from
only
there.
did you put the bar on the floor, you actually buried it underground like a pipe.
It's what I do best.
Okay, do we really watch Marvel movies every night?
No. Some people watch Marvel stuff every day. That's her.
Yeah.
Me, I don't. If there's any Marvel on, I just start watching YouTube or do something else.
Yeah. How often would you say it's actually on in the house?
I don't know. She usually watches when I'm not there because
Yeah.
she
I
used to
just put it on
watch
the
it.
background
She used to
usually.
watch in bed when we were going to bed, and then I don't sleep very well with the TV on, so I was like, can we not do that? And I'm also tired of hearing the same dialogue every night.
With me quoting it under my breath the whole time, learning the whole script.
She was just quoting X-Men Last Stand 2 nights ago
Yeah.
from when she was 11.
Still got it, baby.
So, and
like-
that
it's like a
was
vault.
and that was a movie she watched however many years ago. So now we've got Marvel, which she's watched at least as many times.
Can you imagine what I could accomplish if I put all that brain power to something useful?
No, you jump out a window. You wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't put it in one thing. You got to put it in multiple things.
I could figure out time travel probably.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you equally as obsessed with Marvel?
No. I used to really like Marvel, and
In
then
the golden
ever
era.
since Endgame, it's just been atrociously bad.
He doesn't acknowledge anything after Endgame except Loki and WandaVision. You like both those?
Yeah, they're good. I was super excited about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and they just dropped the ball.
Yeah. We're not gonna get into that.
It went to the center of the earth through the ground. It was so bad.
Let me just stop you right there. We don't have the time. Okay.
So bad.
If you were in the MCU, which character would you be and which one would I be? Let me go first. You're going to be Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And here's why. Because he's like really rude and kind of
Yes.
arrogant and not easily liked at the beginning.
I was going
but
to
he
say the same thing.
Because he actually is really smart and intelligent and like accomplished, but he's just like not great up front. You're like, who is this guy? That's you.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It is me.
Yeah. Who would I be?
You would be.
Don't give me a lame answer. Make me look good in front of my peers.
I'm trying to think who you would be. I'm really. I just want to say Black Widow up front because you give off those vibes. Like,
Hot.
oh yeah, we've already been through that. But I feel like you would like to be a spy
I
and
would
do all
love
that
to be a
stuff.
spy.
Yeah,
I'm so
so
nosy.
I think that would be
Love to lie.
yeah. And nobody wants to be Wanda. Let's just be honest.
I do. I would love to have her powers.
Yeah, I mean,
I would create a fake world.
she
for
loses
sure.
control of her powers.
I lose control of my emotions.
Not
anymore.
often.
How often do I cry? That's all. I'm off script, but
Mm,
not that often.
no, not that often. It depends. Sometimes it's just random stuff.
That would be hormones usually.
Not even.
No, but how often? Like,
I don't know,
Maybe
but
once a month?
Once, twice a month.
yeah, depending on what kind of movie I'm watching. Okay.
Yeah, well, if we're talking movies, I mean, sheesh, what movie is Star Trek? She cried in the first 5 minutes of the new Star Trek movie.
How can you not? Come on. Okay, celebrity crush and why?
Margot Robbie, because
Why not?
she's a bombshell
Yeah.
and she's Australian, which
Same.
I love the accent of
I
Australians.
love her.
Yeah. I mean, if you think Margot Robbie's ugly, I mean, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, let me
At this
refer you to a
point.
neurologist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, all my celebrity crushes have been very publicly aired out, but
Well, I guess I should say my other two.
Mila Kunis,
Yeah. Blake Lively.
Blake Lively.
Yeah, those are the.
Yeah, you have some variety in there, but not really a lot. So, and none of them resemble me in the slightest. Which leads me to mine. All of
And
mine.
Sydney Sweeney. No.
Okay, basic, but I don't blame you on any of the counts. all of mine are brunette white men that are like kind of goofy looking, kind of cute, but like not like Channing Tatum. They're like quirky cute.
But let me.
And you know what my favorite feature on your face is?
My smile.
Your crooked smile. Go ahead and smile at the camera. He's like an adorable stroke victim.
Somebody on the high school Nixa Anonymous, which may or may not have been
on the Twitter
yeah,
page?
the Twitter feed may have been Hannah. I don't know.
An anonymous fan page.
It said my Austin Reader's crooked smile is something. It was like I don't know. It was a positive, but I can't remember the last word.
Did I submit that?
Nobody knows.
No one knows, and I will not fess up to it. But I did think it. Your smile's, I mean, I obviously love the rest of your face. I'm a big fan of all of that, but I really love your smile. And also, if you look at Austin, he only talks out of one side of his mouth. Why do you think that is?
Who knows? I got hit in the face a lot in basketball, so maybe half my face is just dead.
Just paralyzed.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's so cute. Like I said, adorable stroke victim. But it's fabulous. It adds some character.
But I was also going to say, men have a lot less variety than women do because women color their hair or cut their hair different lengths. Men, it's like this kind of length of hair, maybe a little longer.
I want you to grow your hair out and you won't.
And there's only like 2 hair color for men. You're basically like brown or blonde. I mean, it's pretty much
red.
But I'm
gray.
saying not really. That's pretty much. But gray is like when you're older.
Okay, fair enough.
For women, there's like how many colors of hair?
You're right. We have a lot more customization options for our characters.
It's like that's you just like all the basic. Like, well, I mean.
Well, those are like the most basic celebrity crushes ever. You pull.
So I have good taste.
You have average taste. I'll give it to you. They're all super hot, so I really can't blame you on all those. But next up, blondes or brunettes?
Redheads.
Yeah, baby. Bree submitted that question and she said, ask him blondes or brunettes. And if he doesn't say redheads, you have to smack him. So,
Bree, if you're listening.
Yep, you win. Okay, my grandpa submitted this one. How do you put up with Hannah?
A lot of hobbies.
I have a lot of hobbies.
No, I think really right now it's been the best since we've been together for 5 years basically, but we each have our own hobbies, we each do our own stuff, and then and I'm not saying it's in a bad way because I know the first time I said it was like, oh, you don't even like being with her. No, we love being together. Like we said, we talk like 8 times a day on the phone, so it's not like that. But we each have our own things we like to do, and we come home and like we'll exercise together sometimes, or we'll cook together. Not often. Usually one cooks, one cleans, because both cooking together does not.
It's like a recipe for nuclear war.
But we eat dinner together basically every night, unless somebody has really just her out to eat for friends. But we do pretty much everything together. We'll go on like a trip-ish a month to just like Rogers, Arkansas or something, just to
hang out.
Get out of town and
get out of town.
Get out of here. But no, I would say having our own stuff and then also having our stuff we have together is a big part of our marriage and why it works so well. Do
you think you understand all of my jokes? Like, do you catch all of them? Because I make a lot of jokes.
When I'm listening.
How often would you say that is?
30%.
Hey, it's like 300.
Yeah. I've got the same thing my dad has, where we're only half listening until we hear.
That's just men.
Yeah, I just didn't want to throw all men in there, for
only
the huge audience you have.
Absolutes.
But until I hear a key word that I'm interested in, I'm kind of like half listening, and then I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I also say, no matter what the question is to me, to give myself a couple seconds to think about the answer.
I operate on like 1.5 speed and he operates on like 0.7 speed. So whenever I'm speaking to him, like I'll give him all my thoughts in my sentence and then he'll be like, what? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. It's not that long. I go, huh? Oh yeah.
And I hate repeating myself.
Yeah. So now she just stares at me angrily and I'm like, well. And then sometimes I really don't. Now I have to say, no, I really didn't hear you. And for some reason, the way our sinks are set up in our house, if a sink is on, you can't hear what the other person's saying. Like if either of us are washing the dishes, if you are anywhere in the room and somebody asks you a question, you can't hear it. You know it. I know it.
I've never thought that before.
It's true though.
I don't know.
The couch is here.
Okay, we're not going to get to the acoustics of the house.
No, I'm just saying it is. So anytime I'm doing the dishes, I go, huh, and she goes, turn the water off.
The blessing.
And I'm like, I can't hear a thing. I'm not ignoring you like the other 70% of the time. I just have the water on.
Okay. Good to know. I didn't realize that's such an acoustic problem in our house.
It is.
Okay.
She does know.
Someone said, how do you support Hannah? Tips for husbands of wives with goals.
Like I said, I mean, have your own hobbies and have your own stuff going on, and then just be involved. That's, I mean, it's really.
Yeah, we talk through every like business thing. Like we seriously do. I'm not exaggerating. Talk on the phone. We talk in the morning. You leave or I leave, depending on if I have meetings out that day. And then our first phone call happens within like the first hour and a half of the day. We'll catch up, call again another hour and a half later. We are just. Is it codependence?
I think putting it best is sometimes she gets annoyed how much I ask about her business.
Yeah, because you are very involved. So like you do want to, like, you care a lot and you want to know how things are going with clients.
Well, I want to know how it's going.
And
Prospecting, and then I want to make sure that she's not like undercharging at this point, because
I don't do that anymore though.
No, but it's still like a constant thought, and I'm like, look, you've already you've only got X amount of hours, you know, with that to have a life.
With all that, but
yeah, now we are. But it's kind of like it started with that, and now she's great. Obviously,
you let me like talk through everything. We're not like a big motivational content household. Like we're not over here listening to like Gary V. And I know some people love that stuff, but we're just not really that kind of family. Like we work super hard in both of our respective. Like you own a business, I own a business. We both put in like all the work. You had your...
A lot of that stuff just doesn't really apply. I mean, like if you're in New York City and you're with a bunch of content, yeah, probably there's a lot of competition. You're like, you're in Springfield, the big city, like...
But the principles are always the same. Work hard, put in the time, be good to people.
There's no substitute for time and hard work. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I mean, to be world-class in anything, the 10,000 hour rule, you got to put in 10,000 hours. That's just it. There's no shortcut around it. Basketball, social media, whatever, car salesman, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll talk about our goals quite a bit. Like
golf is like 50,000 hours minimum.
Like we'll go for walks and we'll talk for the entire hour long walk about like where our goals financially for our family and like things we want to do, and we're really just on the same page with what's going on in our lives and in each other's business and companies. We're both like, we know what's going on and we know what meetings each other is taking and like how to, I don't know, we just stay involved. Like, and then you're a good balance of not, you don't harp on things and like really push me to the point that I'm like, chill, like I got this. But you also push me enough to where I know that I can always do more. And if you feel like I'm slacking off or you feel like I'm just like selling myself short, you're like, come on, you're not, like you could be doing more, but you don't do it in a way that's like,
well,
come on, like get after it.
Well, when it comes down to it, I know this isn't a popular opinion anymore, but I am the leader of our household. And being a leader doesn't always mean you have to be a dictator. It's sometimes also supporting people to help them reach what you think their potential is and what you know you can be. So I'm always going to check in and make sure things are right, whether it be at work or with her job or our future family, whatever it is, because that's my highest calling, is to lead this family. So I want to make sure that I'm doing a great job of that and not letting that slip. Of course, I have my own stuff to worry about with, my business and everything else. But that's also very important to me because this is our family and we need to make sure it works. Air 5.
Cool. Yeah, well said. What do you think about Instagram presence?
No, I'm indifferent. The only thing that I get heckled about is not liking every post immediately whenever it pops up on my screen.
I will watch him open Instagram, look at my post, and scroll right by it. And he expects me not to be offended by that. That's all I ask of you. That's all I ask.
I like 85% of the post. I mean,
if he sees them and he thinks about it, he's so indifferent. Like you don't watch my stories half the time. Like
I click through them at least. So I don't know if that does anything for the algorithm or not, but I definitely click through it.
That's you. All my stuff. Yeah, he doesn't care, which is probably good. And next, are you aware that your wife has a badonkadonk?
Really?
Is that?
I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. Glad that we covered that.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Really asking the hard hitters here.
Yeah.
How would you describe my job to other people?
I would describe it as digital marketing, because I don't think social media marketing at this point really encapsulates what you do.
You're right.
So, and people just have a negative connotation of social media.
It's still trivialized, which is very sad.
Because, well, I mean, it's just like anything. It's it's just the way you phrase it. Digital marketing is the exact same thing as social media marketing. You're just putting it digital because people think, oh, like digital's, I guess, been more coined before social media, so it's more accepted.
Yeah.
And the people who own most businesses are, in the digital word age. So social media, I mean, people hear social media, it's like, well, social media, you don't make any sales off that. It's like, well, I just do digital marketing. It's like, oh, that makes sense. You do marketing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Are you the jealous type?
Not really.
Me either.
No. Used to be, and then I grew up. So
and then I turned 16.
Yeah. And then I turned 6, and it's all been way different.
No, neither of us are really the jealous type. We've like pretty much disclosed our entire past to each other. We've talked about it. We've like LOL'd about it. Like we really don't have any.
And I also talk to approximately like 0 women. So
yeah,
unless
really
it's
encounter a lot
unless
of
it's with Fraley, I mean,
which is the company that.
Yeah. Pretty much like pretty much your friends and their husbands. Those are like the people that I'm around.
But
my two best friends, I guess I have one best friend in Kansas, one best friend in Dallas, and another guy who works in minor league baseball, so he's gone. So really, I don't have like my high school or college best friends around here. So it's more like adult friends now. Mm-hmm. So it's a little different for me because I don't have, I guess, the obligation or the feeling of obligation to see these people or go out and do whatever. I'm just like, I pretty much work, I golf, and then I come home and we hang out. That's pretty much.
Someone would have to like seek you out.
It would.
In your path.
And like I said, I don't even like any pictures on Instagram. I occasionally like hers, so it's like I don't do anything on social media.
You don't even like my posts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No women.
No, but we'll have a good laugh. Like sometimes if he goes out to a job site or something, and then like a girl will follow you. Like one time we went to a job site and it was a corporation or something. The receptionist followed him and he called me and we were like, I was like, you must look good today. You got it going on. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I also wear the same thing every day.
Yeah,
so
I had him change.
I have a cycle of 5 outfits for work.
He was looking a little too blue collar before we recorded, so I brought him different clothes so that he could look cool and fit the aesthetic a little bit better. Mm-hmm. You still haven't put the hat on, which is fine, but whatever. How often do we argue?
Like once every other month, probably.
Well, that's like fight.
Okay, argue. Again, we don't argue. We debate.
We bicker. We bicker hourly.
And I love me a debate. But
how often do we argue, like fight over something?
Not
legitimate?
much. I mean, we also see pretty much eye to eye politically, which is what most debates are.
Faith, financially, and how. Like,
I mean, honestly, politically and financial, probably the top two. I mean, if you're eye to eye on that stuff, you're probably gonna have a hard time arguing that much.
And we'll argue about the usual stuff like household work, like if I feel like you aren't doing as much or like whatever's going on, or like we'll fight about little things, but nothing. We really just don't have a lot to fight about, to be honest. So
another good part about having your own hobbies.
Yeah, we're just not around each other to fight. No, but we don't. We bicker a lot because we just be.
Yeah, most of it's just kind of like tongue in cheek, messing around, but.
Because we stay fired up
I'm sure
all the time.
Nobody could tell at the beginning of this podcast.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Touche. How do you take photos with the height discrepancy? Austin is a foot taller than
we take the exact same photo every time. She hands me the phone. I get on the exact same side. I have the exact same phone angle of my arm, and I do the same smile. She does the same smile into a kiss face by my cheek, into a little fun face. And then I immediately drop the phone, stop smiling, and we go do whatever we were doing.
Yeah, and we really don't take pictures anymore because I feel like we have so many of those.
We have the same picture 1,000 times.
We'll come up with a new pose eventually.
We can't because she has to take one, like most people, has to be on one side to take the picture.
Yeah, my right side of my face is asymmetrical. I don't like it.
I know every woman has that side.
Yeah.
And every man's not allowed to have a side. So.
No. You guys get 100% of what.
And it makes it bad because it's actually the opposite side of my smiling face.
Your face is perfect as it is. Doesn't matter. Okay, bonus question from Mr. Brianna Wise. This is going to be from Alex. 175 yards out, 15 feet downhill, breeze at your back. Which club are you using?
I'm probably going... Depends how much the wind's blowing. Mm-hmm. We're looking at probably a 9 iron, maybe a soft 8. full 9 or half 8 probably is what we're looking at there.
I have never cared less.
We're looking about, I mean, we're looking probably 160, you know, my normal 8's about 166. So, I mean, we're probably going to have to go with a 9 here, especially with the breeze at the back. Going to stick it to 10 feet, have a birdie putt. You know, we'll see what we can do.
You might as well have been speaking Portuguese. I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah.
Okay. Final question. What's something that most people don't know about me?
About you.
Which is
see.
Hard to find.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long you been doing this?
Because I post everything online.
That she basically refused to cook when we first started.
Yeah.
But now she's getting better at cooking.
That's not new information.
But we're warming up, and this is also new information to Hannah, so we're all learning it at the same time. For my birthday next weekend, she's going to cook me a big meal that I'm going to tell her what I want. She's going to make it with me coaching her the whole time. It's going to be lovely. Happy birthday to me.
Local woman gouges eyes out.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Up next on
It'll
things
be great
that
for
will
the
never
YouTube
happen.
channel.
We don't have a YouTube channel.
You just post it on this. Be like a podcast episode.
No, I'm not going to do that. That would be
down in the comments.
You can't.
Who would like to see that?
No one would like to see that. Do you have any final comments?
Leave a like on this video.
Like, subscribe. Do you have any final thoughts? Any words?
Not really. Had a good time on here. Kind of soft with the questions out there. Pretty easy.
No, I had to omit some. Some people were. Some things were just a little bit X-rated. I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's in.
I'll respond.
That's
in
in
your DMs.
that's in the toxic podcast actually. So
After
that one's coming out.
No, guys, my mom listens to this. I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff, but I will tell you if you want to know. I'll answer in your DMs.
Yeah,
not here.
The DMs.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You want to hang out later?
Yeah. Probably have golf though, so I'll be after golf.
I'll wait around.
Yeah, we'll meet up later.
I'll go do my drawings.
Yeah, I got to go test out that 175 downwind.
I guess. Well, thank you everyone for all your questions. Thanks, Austin, for making time out of your busy schedule to come hang out with me.
Yeah.
I'll call you in like an hour.
Okay. Yeah. Good time.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.